Yeah, good evening, everyone. A quick one tonight. We want to thank you guys for coming around to come and have a wonderful time this evening. While we just wait for those who are coming, let's just have some quiet time. With some very nice and very nice and wonderful time. God is in control. We thank God for all that happened yesterday, and we thank God for what God is doing to set the record straight.
No pastor will succeed will lie effortlessly the way the Sunday young lives. And no pastor will equip a young man to go and fight. This was a man who worked closely with you before. Yeah. You're from our DGF campaign. Yeah. And you realize now that he lies? Oh, I know he lies. Even when he was working with you? Yes. He does lie when he was. I cannot make a statement. I can't write a statement of character on someone I've never met. So if I haven't done with him, I won't be able to arrive at the conclusion.
Just listen to this video again, very important.
So I want you to say, he's a pastor. No pastor will succeed will lie effortlessly the way the Sunday young lives. And no pastor will equip a young man to go and fight. This was a man who worked closely with you before. Yeah. You're from our DGF campaign. Yeah. And you realize now that he lies? Oh, I know he lies. Even when he was working with you? Yes. He does lie when he was with. I cannot make a statement. I can't write a statement of character on someone I've never met. So if I haven't done with him, I won't be able to arrive at the conclusion.
If I haven't worked with him, I would have been able to arrive at the conclusion. So we're going to actually know who is the problem of Edo State. The problem of Edo State. The problem of Edo State. So one of the greatest problems of Edo State is this man, this very particular man you people are listening to today. He has been our problem. He remains our problem. And will forever be our problem. The ugly incident that took place yesterday was the handiwork of this same very particular man. All for him to have charge over the entire Edo process. That's just all. That's all. It's a greedy man. Just listen to this also.
He did XYZ, and I've been related to that thing. The issue today is that we now have evidence of that. And that is why right now, just like PDD sued him in 2016, but he escaped because PDP filed the action out of time, and the issues involved were settled back because of pre-election issues. This time we have filed early enough. But I think the real question is that put to my dear friend and brother, Dalmedi, you helped him by just showing a little of what he has said. He has said more damaging things about OBASEKI, even after 100 days in office, where he showed wicked achievement and compared them to humanity achievement. Now, the facts are there that OBASEKI deviated from his commitment to Edo people, which is to continue all of those things that have put Edo back, that people were describing Edo as a construction site. And when he talks about what he is doing, In our campaign, we told many people, don't believe what you have not seen. Under while I was governor, we set up Azura Power Plant, which has saved the commission, a $1 billion project. I didn't have to do any movie in China or in Washington or elsewhere. It was done here. And I know I got the current president and the vice president to just the remaining line that the previous government did do to enable the project to pick up. And that project has been completed. I hope that nobody is not crediting Azura Power Plant. That is something, take the certificate of occupancy for that land. I paid for it. Sorry, I signed it. I paid those government paid part of the compensation for land and other facilities provided, which give the government a share. So we are shareholders in Azura Power Plant. And where the manufacture ceramic tiles in order to be for most of the schools we built by Chinese companies, we didn't do any MOU, and they are producing. We are not there about commissioning, they are already producing. And we have a company that was also set up. All we needed to do was to build a nuclear environment, and they are producing iron rod from scratch.
So if I may quickly, yeah. So let me come in and ask you. You heard what the governor said today about the fact that your party is planning violence. How true is that?
Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, you see, this very particular man is the problem of Edo State. Any man that tells you one thing in the morning and in the afternoon is coming back to tell you another thing and expects you to actually believe what he's going to tell you in the afternoon is the problem of, it's a problem. And in this very particular scenario, Oshomole is one that wants to destroy the fabrics of Edo State with his overbearing, Godfather wannabe attitude. I want the Edos to get something very clearly. This goes beyond just politics. This goes beyond a governorship election. This is your destiny. This is your destiny that is on the verge. What most of us are saying today is this: the people should be the one to lead. The whole thing should be about the people, not about one individual who is always going out, fomenting trouble, creating violence in order to make the election not to be successful. He had a plan, and his whole plan had been opened up. If you watch this guy who became speaker of Pastor Yamu's parlor yesterday, he made a statement after the kangaroo inauguration that he did and the kangaroo impeachment of the honorable speaker Frank, that they are not going to impeach OBASEKI for the sake of peace. The statement he made, I repeat, said they are not going to impeach OBASEKI for the sake of peace. That was his exact statement. It means the whole intention. I'm going to explain that to you today. They have plan A, they have plan B, and they have plan C. The whole intention was to create a state of anarchy whereby the Inspector General of the INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, we now see that Edo State is volatile, then that will now make them to declare the election or to shift the election forward. Number two, the second idea they have to do, they intended to do, is to, if they are succeeded in inaugurating themselves at the hollow chamber of the Edo State House of Assembly, they will now proceed in serving an impeachment notice on the governor and the deputy governor. That was number two plan. Number three plan, which that they all failed in, is the third plan was this. If they refused or they could not do this too, they will now have to wait for themselves after being inaugurated into the Edo State House of Assembly, now being in the majority, that during the process of this election, and APC will now make the election to be very violent. They will create havoc. You remember Pastor AK-47? Pastor Pelebe told his tigers and lions that they should move from ward to ward, unit to unit, and even possible they should move from state to state. I mean, local government to local government. And what are they doing? Because by the law of the land and by the guidelines of INEC, the moment you are done in voting in a unit, where is that your unit? That is the last place that you have power. All you need to do is to move away, go to your home, or stay in your unit in order for you to defend your vote. Not moving from one particular unit to another unit, even to another ward, or even to another local government. So these are the plans that the moment they succeeded in inaugurating this runaway wannabe as of rep, all they will not do is when they've created that anarchy, they will now proceed on an impeachment on OBASEKI and his deputy. The power will not be given to this dear kangaroo speaker who stole or who borrowed Auchi Polytechnic maize for their inauguration in the living room of an aspirant. I'm coming there later in the day. So that when they now give this guy to now become the speaker and the acting governor after these two guys have been impeached, they cannot be able to now manipulate the election, the rerun election, the way they want it. And you also know the law says you cannot stay outside the constitutional time be given to you, the constitutional time being given to you by law. And the last time that this very particular man today, or Governor OBASEKI has, is on the 12th of November, 2020. So, the moment that day comes, an election is not being able to be conducted, then Obaseki will have to leave the seat as the governor, also with his deputy. Then they have to put an interim governor, which will not be the Speaker of the House. So the Speaker of the House now had the power. The Speaker of the House now had the power to not do what they intend doing in order to favor Osage Zeyamu. But thank God for the Edos yesterday, who decided not to stand behind illegality. So the miracle, I told you before, if you are on my wall, you don't insult me, okay? I've warned you several times. Come here, say your mind, or I send you out of my wall. I've warned you several times. If you do that again now, I'm going to block you. I've told you, come here, say your mind, tell anybody why you want to support Zeyamu. I have no problem. No insult on my wall. You do that again, you are gone. So like I was saying, now that was their plan. Their plan was to make sure that they put everything humanly possible on the wheel of progress of the Edos so that they can be able to create an atmosphere whereby they will now bring in this 419 speaker to take over the Edo State Government House and not do the bidding, which is the woo-woo that they are all be waiting for, in order for them to come to power through the back door. So these were the three plans. These were the three plans that they actually put in place while they were coming. I'm going to tell you why I concluded like this. June last year, when this whole issue of inaugurations came up, when they said Obaseki did not give them, notice, Obaseki did not allow them to be inaugurated. I remember vividly, there was a guy called Paul Nwamba, who was the then Commissioner of Information. He was on ITV station, and he made a statement. He said, nobody is asking them not to come back and be inaugurated. And I stood by that word from the beginning. Do you know the reason why? Because Obaseki does not have the power to stop any member-elect from being inaugurated into the House. Because the State House of Assembly is not an arm of the executive, it's not a part of the executive arm of government. It has nothing to do with them at all. So if somebody comes out to tell you we were deprived of being inaugurated, that is a blatant lie. Hear this now. Somebody also said, but the first set of people that were inaugurated, they were inaugurated at night. Assuming that was true. Now, if you remember Okorocha, if you remember Akpabio, they were not inaugurated the same day that the other National Assembly members were inaugurated at the federal level. Okorocha had an issue with his certificate of return, which was still pending. It was not announced the winner of the election. Because of that, he didn't go into the house when his colleagues actually went in. It took him about 1 month or thereabout before there were now clearance on his election, and he was not given a certificate of return. And the day he got a certificate of return, he actually went to the house and he was sworn in as a member of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If peradventure, like they said, Obaseki refused them being inaugurated in that very particular first day, as far as they already had the mandate of the people that they represent, they would have gone to the house the second day with all the TV stations on standby to see if they were not going to be inaugurated. I remember I did a video that very particular time, and I cried out to them. I said, listen, guys, if you are on the majority side, why would you have to fly to Abuja and hide? What are you hiding from? The issue, your problem is already a national issue, be it known locally and internationally. Why not go and present yourself for inauguration and see if you will not be inaugurated? And I said, the moment you are not inaugurated, then they would have opened a can of worms about Governor Illegality OBASEKI plan against you guys. I did a video as at July last year on this very particular issue. But they refused to listen to words of reasoning. They refused to listen because they already had a plan out that they were waiting for a time like this. That was why Oshomole kept them in Abuja and paid them on monthly basis for the past 1 year, just for a time like this. So when they come up today, like I told somebody yesterday, hear this now. Why will you do illegality when you have the power to do it the legal way? We must always stand on the path of truth, believing that actually Governor Obaseki did wrong. Why did you have to go by the night and get yourself inaugurated? Why did you have to wait for 1 whole year before you decided to come in and be inaugurated? Why will you have to do it with the help of the federal security on standby for you to get yourself inaugurated? Now, hear this again. There is something they did yesterday that we need to get clearly. I just want to analyze this. Yesterday, the other 3 or 2 guys who were part of the already existing Edo State House of Assembly did not take an oath yesterday. The 3 or the 2 guys who decided to join these other 13 or 14 runaways did not take an oath yesterday. No, they didn't administer an oath to them. So if they did not administer an oath to these 3, that shows there is no illegality, according to them, in what Governor Illegality OBASEKI did a year ago. Because if they say, because I know Washington Osifo, he was on Chinese television and he said, and I quote, They have never been a house. They have never been a house as far as the Edo State House of Assembly was concerned. That was the statement. Said they've never been a house. So if you don't even want to talk about a deputy being impeached because they have never been Edo State House of Assembly. Fine. I agree with you. I agree with you. Now, if they have never been a house, why were the other 3 members who were part and parcel of this no house issue of Washington Osifo now automatically were not given an oath of office the second time by the kangaroo inauguration that they did yesterday? So if they refuse to give these 3 an oath of office, that shows the first inauguration, the first proclamation by the state governor is still valid. And if that is valid, the only person that can give the oath of office is the Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, which is Honorable Frank. I'm talking about legality now. I'm not talking about tonight. I'm not here to discuss political correctness. If they actually wanted to take over the Edo State House of Assembly in a legal way, all they would have done, is to go to the House and present themselves before Honorable Frank, take an oath of office, then go to the normal preliminaries session, get a vote of no confidence on the Honorable Speaker, and impeach him and his deputy, Roland Asoro, and automatically put in whoever they want to put in to become the Speaker. Number 2, when they were sent out of the inauguration by Oshomole, after a certain period of time, they refused to show up in the House. And by the law as at that time, if you are unable to come for a certain number of days during the preliminary without valid reason or reasons, your seat will be declared vacant. So these guys, this 12 or 14 runaway House of Assembly member never showed up. The truth of the matter is they were never House of Assembly member, they were member elect. So the difference between member elect and House of Assembly member. So they never showed up. All they did was to hang on in Abuja, and the required day or days in which they need to show up at the preliminaries elapsed. And Honorable Frank Okoye actually declared their seats vacant. Actually declared their seat vacant, and asked INEC to, as a matter of urgency, conduct a new election for people to take over their seats. And these same 12 guys went to Abuja Federal High Court to file an application against, hear this now, to file an application against the decision of Honorable Frank Okoye, which is still pending till today. The number 2 mistake they made is this. If Honorable Frank Okoye was not recognized, why did they have to go to court to file an application against his decision? If the proclamation made by the governor of Edo State, Governor OBASEKI, was not also valid, why did they have to go to court to stop the court from allowing INEC to conduct a fresh election in their states? And if you decide to go to court, hear this now. This is the most interesting part of it. If you decide to go to court, why will you then not wait for your judgment before taking the law into your hands? Why taking the law now? Why didn't you do it some few months back? These are just simple analysis. Why taking the law now into your hand? Why did you have to go to court in the first place to challenge the decision or the proclamation? The Speaker of the House, why did you not just come down to Benin from Abuja and get yourself inaugurated? So you see, this whole abracadabra was a sinister plan by the master rigger, the evil genius, the godfather wannabe, Adams Ali Oshomole. Because he knew in a free, fair, and credible election, Oshomole can never win Edo State. He understands that the only way he can be able, to do something reasonable is by creating anarchy. You knew what he did during the 2019 election. He created anarchy all through. That is his hallmark. He loves confusion. He loves being in the middle of a waving water. He is an attention seeker. He wants somebody to notice him. So everything he did was a master plan for a time like this, because he knows in a normal day, he cannot and they cannot be able to stand the test of time. Okay? That was one thing that was there. And the another thing is this. I don't know if you listen to Comrade Philip Shaibu's confession. He said Oshomole wanted him to impeach Obaseki. So you will see, this impeachment notice is coming all the way long before now. It is not a thing that started today. It has been there. He has been having one plan upon another. So every time he fails, he takes another way out. Okay? Every time he fails, he goes another way out. Every time he fails, he runs to another way out. Do you know why he's doing that? Because he knows that he cannot, legitimately stand the intellectuality of Governor Obaseki. He knows when it comes to intellectual capability, they are not commensurable. Hear what Philip said. Just listen a little bit. Hear what Philip said.
Oshomole wanted me, Philip Shari, to join him, knowing well that I'm closer to the members elect at that time, and members of the state assembly, because I spent 8 years in the House of Assembly here, and I spent about 18 months in House of Rep, and I have goodwill among the legislation because of my own style. And he wanted me to help him to use this same member when they are elected to remove the governor and for me to be the governor. And I say no. That it is not my.
So you see that now? So he wanted him to use these same people, this same group of people, these 14 miscreants, these 14 runaway, feeding bottle babies politicians, to impeach the governor so that Philip cannot become the governor. We knew this all along. We understood the plans and the tactics of Oshomole. We knew he had a calculated agenda to create anarchy in Edo South so that he can perpetually rule the people either directly or by proximity. Listen, Edo people, listen very carefully right now. Listen very carefully. If you watch in Edo South, the only people supporting Oshomole are the Tals. That's just all, nothing more. The only people supporting Oshomole are the Tals. He actually gave them some level of freedom in his time. Somebody told me that during Oshomole time, you get appointment through Beret. So all these things you are seeing today happening in those states was the handiwork of Oshomole. If you want to get an appointment during Oshomole's time, you get appointment through Beret. You must be an art man. That is why in his time, they actually built up all that we are seeing today, who have now become the problem of Edo State. So he's always good with illegality. That has been his lifestyle. Even when he was NSE president. That has been his lifestyle. People that know him very well that this very particular man, all he does is creating confusion. Creating unnecessary confusion. And we must stand as a people for the truth and defend our collective destiny. Imagine if Shaibu had actually accepted to have done the bidding of this very particular man, what do you think would have happened today? But today, Edo would have been in the pocket of a man who the Edos actually decided to give a happy hand to. to give a helping hand to as far as the Edo State politics is concerned. But Philip said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to betray this man for whatsoever reason. Okay? Now, having said that, yesterday, all the APC were crying. Even Oshomole himself was crying. This is illegality. This is, he was speaking all the grammars in the world. And guess what transpired yesterday? At the Edo State House of Assembly. Anthony Enaro complex. This is the first thing. They were surprised at the crowd that came into the house within 15 minutes to support the amiable governor. They were marveled at what they saw. It has never been like that all their life. So they became, tired that they started speaking out. Let me try to educate us a little bit. In 2008, when Oshomole came into government, it was the governor and the deputy that were only AC member who later became ACN. The entire House of Assembly in Edo State were all PDP members. Oshomole actually removed the roof of the Anthony Naro's complex in order for him to have control over the house. And if you ask them, they were going to tell you he did that because the house were APC and we were PDP and they never wanted to support him. Today in Edo State, the only opposition that OBASEKI had all through his tenure were actually the same people who are from the same political party with him. I engaged a friend, online this morning who were talking about this thing, and he said that the problem today in APC is the CPC, the ACN, the CAC, and all that. He was very frank. He is a supporter of Obaseki and Oshomole. I mean, he's a man of Oshomole. But he said, what happened is there is a problem. So that problem is what is creating this today. And I said, this is the same we are talking about now. And I said, that's what we are also talking about just right now. That's why they're in the same political party, but there is always a conflict of interest among these people, which makes them not to become opposition unto themselves. So, at the moment that is not being done, then what we see is this level of anarchy. In 2010, Oshomole induced 9 members out of 24 instead of 10 of 24 to impeach the late Honorable Zakawanu Garuba as Edo State House of Assembly Speaker. 9 persons impeached the Speaker. Not all are attacked by Honorable Gabaru, including soliciting the help of the National Assembly to redress the assault, all proved abortive. Oshomole had to warn us and call them busybody to be prognosing into the affair of Edo State House of Assembly. This is what Oshomole did in his time. The same Oshomole asked the National House of Assembly to take over the Edo State House of Assembly last year. The same Oshomole called on the National Assembly of both parties, which he had, a very, interesting conflict interest, to go and take over the Edo State House of Assembly. That was why OBASEKI had to go to court to file, a charge against them, to restrain them from doing that. And at the end of the day, the court actually affirmed that there was no need for such an action to have taken place because it has not generated to a state of anarchy where they are unable or could not control the house. In 2013, Oshomole relocated the Edo State House of Assembly to the government house under the minority leadership of Right Honorable Uyi Ibe. Honorable Uyi Ibe, with just 10 members, got a contractor to remove the roof of Edo State House of Assembly and dole out 325 million for this job. The same thing that this very particular man is crying about today is the same thing that he actually did some few years back. And when he was asked, why did you remove the roof? He said, I did it in order for me to avoid being impeached. Said, I did this in order for me to avoid being impeached. The same man. In January 2014, Oshomole got 9 members to pass the state budget of 123.2 billion naira. In January 2014, Oshomole got 9 members to pass the state budget of 123.2 billion naira. Today, the same Oshomole is saying that this and that, and people are actually dancing with him. Like I said from the beginning, I told him, and I told many people, I said, if Zemu stays on his own, without Oshomole him, you have a better chance. You have a better chance of selling himself to Edo people. But the moment he decides to pitch his tent with APC, he will create a stumbling block for himself. Because Oshomole actually was the one that was teaching these guys all these abnormalities that is happening today. He's the one that has created the maniac and the problem we have today in Edo State. In May 2014, Oshomole got the approval of 9-member house to secure approval for the establishment of a private public university. 9 members out of 24. 9 members out of 24. In his own village, Iyamo, Uzaria, and also got the sum of 29 billion approved by the same 9 members to commence immediate infrastructural development on the school. 9 members. What I'm telling you now, they are all in the public domain. We are not. I'm not here telling you what you don't know. You go there and find out if I am lying or not. Like I said, when I come out, I don't come here to play this politics of lies. I am not interested in it. I come out to dish out the fact the way it is. It is left for you to undo your findings and understand the man. You are all clamoring to become the next voice, the next face of Edo politics. Oshomole does not deserve that position. In 2015, Oshomole got approval of just 9 members of Edo State House of Assembly to collect a sum of 21 billion naira loan. In 2015, Oshomole got approval of just 9 members of the Edo State House of Assembly to collect a sum of 21 billion naira loan. This same man is the one today coming here to talk rubbish. In July 2015, Oshomole got the State House of Assembly with only 8 members in attendance to change the ownership structure of Edo State University, Iyamo, from state-owned to a privately owned institution, and also change the name from Edo State University to Edo University. The university you have at Iyamo today, that was built with the sweat and the tax of the taxpayers of Edo State, is now the rightful property of Adams Ali Oshomole. It's now the rightful property of Adams Ali Oshomole. These are some of the reasons why he's fighting OBASEKI tooth and nail, because if OBASEKI comes back, that very particular law will be changed. An executive order will be made for him to return the school back to Edo people. In June 2014, Oshomole unilaterally removed from office the chairman of Oredo local government area, on the person of Honorable Osaro Obaze, who is now running around, jumping around with Oshomole. A man that actually disgraced you out of office unconstitutionally, and got 7 members of Edo State House of Assembly to ratify the removal. The State High Court later declared this removal illegal, null and void, a year later, but Oshomole refused to reinstate the chairman before Oshomole left. So when I see some of these Edo State people supporting this man has actually destroyed your political career. Osaro Obaze, he actually took you away from your position as a local government chairman. Pastor Odubu, he actually called you a native doctor. He called you a native doctor, that you want to kill him. I begin to wonder, what are you people actually doing? What are your problems? What are your problems? What is the problem of these people? What are people actually doing? What are things like this for you people? In September 2010, Oshomole unilaterally dissolved the board of Edo State Oil and Gas Esopandec, resource to the State House of Assembly, as required by law establishing the commission. For the 8 years he was in office, Oshomole went on several vacations and lived for months without transmitting the constitutionally mandated letter to a State House of Assembly, and never for one he had sway as governor of Edo State. Oshomole constituted himself to be a godfather to the hoodlums, to the Aberos, and talks and engaged them to continually and weeks the Edo State House of Assembly whenever there is disagreement between the government and the legislative arm. You knew what happened. How many times you will see these people coming into Edo State House of Assembly, causing barricade, even going as far as going in and beating up the legislators because they refuse to do some biddings of Oshomole. There's a video everywhere of how Oshomole actually destroyed the Edo State House of Assembly. This is the first time in history that the Edo State House of Assembly has come to normalcy, because the governor, the people's governor, the choice of the people, never believes in violence. What happened yesterday can never happen under Oshomole. It is not possible. What transpired yesterday in Edo State can never happen under Oshomole. It is impossible. Edo State under Oshomole had the highest removal and turnout rate of Edo State House of Assembly leadership. He changed speaker illegally 8 times in 8 years. 8 times in 8 years, he actually changed speakers. From Right Honorable Zakawanu, Honorable Bright Omokodion, Honorable Uji Ibe, Honorable Taga Edoha, Honorable Liz Ativie, to Honorable Kabiru Ajoto. That is his job. When they are not doing according to his biddings, he will come in and get them thrown out. He's the one talking about today that the state government is getting himself involved in the issues of the State House Assembly. I'm having to know what happened to Ativie. Honorable Ativie, you all know that when they made her to be the speaker and Oshomole came and asked her to leave, there was not an issue of the car that was given to her. And he told everybody that Oshomole actually gave her that car for her to step down. Oshomole gave her the car for her to step down for the guy who later became the Speaker of the House. And people will come here and support this same man. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. One of the greatest mistakes, one of the greatest things Oshomole did was this. The good people of Edo State, we also record that for the first time in the state history, a House of Assembly in 2012 was forced to confirm commissioners without asking for their educational qualification. It was simply an error of you can read and write. These are all the antecedents of Oshomole regime in his time. He wanted to see continually perpetuate the same level of impunity, disregard to constitutional authority on the person of OBASEKI, which OBASEKI outrightly refused and rejected, being a godson to him, to impeach or remove OBASEKI from power. Shaibu actually also rejected his offer That prompted him changing the entire primary election that was done in 2019 into the State House of Assembly, putting in his own people to now take over in order for him to use the legislative arm now to become a checkmate or a check wash to OBASEKI and Shaibu, or to actually remove them from government, remain in government and want to be a godfather. Nothing more, nothing less. And number two, you that are from Edo State, particularly from the south of Edo, hear this clearly, listen to me. Believe it or not, you have your own, what's it called? You have your own belief. You have your own candidate you are supporting. I don't care. Is there Yamu? Is from Edo State. OBASEKI is from Edo South. Even the AAC lady, most of them, they are from Edo South. Okay? Now, these people are all families from Edo South. Oshomole wants to destroy the fabrics of the Benin people. That is his plan. That is his greatest agenda. If you guys continually to start allowing him to decide on who is who in Edo South, it will be at the detriment of you people. The same mistake you guys are making now was a mistake that was made by the Hausas in the north of Nigeria, where the Fundalins, who are the minority today, decide what happens and how it happens. I feel pained when I see us, the Benins, now running after people that we are supposed to lead. This is not settlement right now. We are the people that actually hold sway by number, by geographical location, and by intellectuality. But today, you see graduates, people like Pastor Dubu, a barrister, people like Chris Ogum, an engineer, a well-trained engineer, people like Major General Charles Ariabe, a major general in the military, all of the Edo South extraction, listening to an ordinary tailor, not taking commands from a tailor. It gets some of us worried. People like me gets me worried. This election is about the Edo South people. They have already given us the slot to not decide who we want the next governor of the state. Okay? Now, this guy, this dwarf of a guy, needed to have sat down and allowed the Edo decide. When it was his time, nobody actually got involved in his re-election. Nobody. He did it alone, even when he was coming up for the second time. Not even one guy from his side actually contested against him in his own party. Even in another party, nobody came from Edo North. It was retired General Chavariabe that actually contested against Oshomole in 2012. Nobody from his side came up, was ready to contest against him. I'm not saying anybody should not contest against OBASEKI. I'm not saying that. No. Because an election actually need people to contest against him. But what I am saying in essence is this. They should not be allowing another person to decide the fate of their own people. It is so derogatory. It brings us down as a people. It makes you guys to feel as if you guys cannot actually sit together and make a decision for yourself. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Yes, my brother, he's trying to destroy the Edo South for his own political gain. He knows the unity of the Edo South is tantamount. Is tantamount to the entire collapse of his political plan. No, sir, and listen, in politics today, let me tell you something. In politics today, we are all one, we are all brothers. But in politics today, there's always one want to supersede the other. We should not add that. Politics has nothing to do with. I have a lot of friends who are from the north of Edo State. I have a lot of friends who we live together in the same house, that are from Edo Central. We eat together. So that one is, when it comes to politics, it goes beyond that. And this is not the generality of the people from Edo North or Edo Central. No. Some selected few. If you watch Honorable Comrade Philip Shaibu said, I refuse to betray my own governor. He's from Edo North, from the same locality as Oshomole. But he is a true Edolite. That's what I'm saying. So Oshomole wants to destroy the Edo South for his own political gain. Get what I'm saying, sir? We are all one. We are all one. We are all brothers and sisters. But he had an intention, because the only way he can be able to continually to hold on perpetually in the sway, in the political arena, is what he's doing today, the divide and destroy system. That is my point. How on earth, sir? How on earth can you destroy a man to the level you decimated this man? How on earth can he also come and destroy the lives of Tonanene? How on earth can he also come and destroy the lives of Ibunedion and Obemudia? He also came and destroyed the lives of Pastor Dubu. He also came and destroyed the lives of this same Honorable Osaro Obase. And today, he has also brought these people over now, because they have an issue with their brother. Get this, politically. The generality of these people. For his own political gain. That is the reason why he's doing what he's doing. Okay? So that is my worry. That is the worry of people like me, who feels that is not okay. If by 2024, and the governorship goes to Edo Central, every member from Edo South and Edo North should stay away. Let the Edo Center make their choice. That's what I'm talking about. Let it decide who wants to be their governor within them. After 8 years to Edo North, let Edo North be allowed. Edo South, shut up. Edo Central, shut up. Let the Edo North make their choice. That is my point, sir. I'm not trying to divide us. We are one. Even most of the people in Edo North that I know today in this country, they support OBASEKI. A guy is from Oshomole's town. He said to me, Oshomole has beaten more than he can chew. That they are tired of Oshomole excesses. even as a people. Is what I'm saying. I'm not. What I'm begging for is Oshomole should allow the people decides. You said he's not contesting, but he's the one that's kneeling down. He's the one that is kneeling down everywhere. Somebody is kneeling down. They make you the kneel down now. You know that now you don't be the contest election, but they kneel down, they beg, they go. Mukuna vote Zeyamu. Why? What is his gain? That is my question. You destroy the brother. Zeyamu family is the third, or is the fifth biggest family in Edo South. OBASEKI family is the second or the third biggest family in Edo South. It is hitting these two people together. Do you know that Zeyamu and OBASEKI actually had a relationship by marriage? Don Pedro's mother to Zeyamu's family. So these two families are big, well-respected family in Edo State, in Edo South. So let this man step aside. Let these two sons of the soil, who they have given the mandate to lead their people for the next 4 years, to make a decision on whom they want. Not him flying from one news outlet to another, creating havoc, constituting nuisance, all in the name of trying to hold on to power. Stupidity. All we want to say is, let there be peace in Edo State. A sane man, listen, a sane man, a man who wants peace, will not approve of what happened. That was why when I heard Zeyamu saying he congratulated the new speaker, I said, does this man actually know what he's doing? You are creating Leonard Iguma. Sir, with all due respect, I don't care who is coming to power. It's like you guys are not even getting what I'm saying. Who comes to power has nothing to do with what we are saying now. If Zeyamu wins tomorrow, he remains my governor and remains your governor. If OBASEKI wins tomorrow, he remains my governor, he remains your governor. What we are saying is that we are from Benin. Iguma, you are a Benin boy, a Benin man. What I'm telling you is this: we should allow normalcy to return back to the state. That's what we are saying. These guys, they have their children already flown abroad, trying to create a state of anarchy, all in the name of political correctness. It is my take. If you guys like, you can support him. If you guys like, you can decide not to support him. I don't actually care. My problem is not who wins. No, I have told OBASEKI many times, do not rig the election. Do not rig the election. The same way I'm telling Oshomole and Zeyamu, do not rig the election. Let the people decide. We want the people to lead. That is our take. Even despite I am speaking for OBASEKI, I have did a lot of video. Do not rig election. Do not. Just go and campaign to the people. At the end of the day, let the people go out and make their decisions. That is all that's all we're interested in. We need good governance. So when you come up and you start saying some of the things you are saying, it makes you look not ready to actually accept the facts. What's his name? Eddie Freedom. Go sleep. You that is not sleeping, not saying now you watching me, then something must be wrong, sir. So it is better you stay off my word, because this is my territory right now. I'm in charge here. Better you stay out. Are you watching me for the past 1 hour? Makes you to look as if you are not actually who you think you are. Okay, so thank you guys. We're continually exposing, the evils in Edo State. Edo must get it right. Edo must get it right. The people will decide who wants to be their governor, not some few individuals. My take is that the people decide. My take is that the people decide. That is our take. Go out there and defend and tell the people what you want to happen to the people. Yes, wisdom, faith. I salute your courage. Yeah, that's it. You are for Isaiah come great concern, and that is beautiful. I respect that. I respect that exactly. That is your choice, and it is acceptable by everyone. Not everyone must support Obaseki. Not everyone must support Izeyamu. That is the truth of matter there. But let us not create a state of anarchy, all because we want to lead the people. If you kill the people, who are you going to lead? That is my thing. That's what I tell you. You see, if you come here and tell me you want to support this, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem on who you support, but don't come here and begin to insult people. That is my problem. So when you just come in here and begin to insult people, then that is where I look as if you are not actually serious, because you must hear the truth. This election is about you trying to say your own, the other person say his own. Not you insulting the other person, all because you could not, or you are unable to defend what the other person is saying. It makes you look weak. Okay? So the best you should do is defend yours, let the other person defend own. So that both parties cannot have a level of argument. Because what we are doing today is selling our candidate to whoever that want to hear. And so that at the end of the day, they can be able to decide who they want to vote for. Okay? That is just how it works. So there's no need of you coming here insulting people when actually you cannot also tell us why you want your candidate to win. Violence, insults cannot make your candidate to win. No, it can't. It can't. I was watching one of their presenters yesterday. Oh, he told us, Obaseki said this, Obaseki said that, Obaseki said this. For 2 hours, I listened to this guy. All he said was, Obaseki is this, Obaseki is that, Obaseki is this. What will my brother Isayamu coming to do? That's all we want to hear. That's why in the whole of Isayamu's campaign, there is a lady that I respect. There's one lady that I respect. She's not online. She's always on Facebook. She always read constructive things about Isayamu. Always. She's always on the point. And I respect her for that. And anytime I comment on her, we engage in some level of argument. Okay? I know, sir. Bradwin. I know that. But we must tell them the truth. We must tell them the truth. Come and listen to truth. When you listen to truth, take this thing back. Let me tell you something. Before I go, let me tell you something. Do you know sometimes when I listen to some of these Izeyamu guys, because there are some information that they bring out also that can shock me. Okay, when they shock me, I just listen, I don't say anything. What I do is this: I take this information, I take it to people who are close to the government, and I begin to ask them questions. This ahead. How true is this? Because you know why? Because I want to come out in the next time to be able to defend the matter that I'm telling or that I'm selling to the people. How true is this? They will not say, no, this is not true. This is what happened. They will not explain to me what happened. Then I will come back here and tell you the exact story that from the propaganda. But if you come online and you begin to insult people because they are not of the same view with you, you cannot sell your people to anyone. Nobody's going to buy from you because you're not making sense. People read your comment at the end of the day. When they read another book, they say, come on, why is this guy saying, go sleep? You are a fool. You are a mumu. You are an idiot. What is wrong? It means you are not actually, you are not actually, understanding what politics is all about. So it means you don't have anything to tell the people why they need to vote your candidate. It's simple and pure. If you have a question, you throw at me. Yeah, that's why I read comments. And when I read your comment and I see it is what you're replying to, and I will explain to you. Somebody's talking about Commissioner Aero. Let me use the last 7 minutes to talk about Commissioner Aero. Please, the story of 2 million euros or $2 million was all a frame up by some social media presenters. It was never true. It was never true. Commissioner Aero had issues that cannot be discussable on a social media platform. Commissioner Aero actually lived in Italy for years. For years. He was one of the Europe-based politicians. So there are that actually happened of late, which warranted some boys to be arrested by the Italian police, and they made some very unpleasant allegations. Let me use the word now against Osemege Aero, which actually make them to put a flag off on Europol and Interpol for his arrest. And the moment he landed in France and he was picked up, I've told people before, let's forget about political correctness. Let's forget about political correctness. Let's talk about the reality. Who is this one that go and sit down? What is sit down? I beg, Esama, go and sleep. You guys just come and write nonsense. You cannot even defend what is set down. So, everybody when you're supposed to say they are all dons. So now, when he was picked up in France, if he had taken money with him, it was under money laundering. They will not, as a matter of fact, transfer him to Italy. No. The case will be dealt with in France. And the EFCC would have, by now, asked for his repatriation because the money actually belongs to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If, as alleged, it took $2 million with him on that very particular journey. There was no way they would have transferred him to Italy because he does not have an Italian. It's not an Italian citizen. You only have an Italian residence permit. It's the one they call Carta de Sojourner. Okay, that's what it has. So that one alone tells you that the case he has is not actually a case of money laundering. It's another case entirely. If you watch the case of what's it called of this very particular man, Alamisia and Ibori, they caught them in London, and their case was tried there in London. Yes, they caught them in London, and the case was tried there in London. There was no way. There was no way they transferred the case to another place. So that is just the truth of the matter, guys. I don't want to talk about what happened to him, but I'm just telling you that is what happens. So it has nothing to do with money laundering. It is just a way. It's just a way It is just a way to destroy the man politically. But we're going to talk about that when the time comes, when we are given permission to actually talk about, Commissioner Semigero issue. Then we're going to do that. But for the now, we are not giving the permission. We're just throwing a light around it for us to understand what is happening. It has nothing to do with money laundering. So you can use that as a propaganda. It doesn't change anything. Thank you, guys. Have a blessed night. Bye.